Hey guys, let's talk about getting emotionally involved in your gun selection. I've got an interesting comment here. Well, kind of interesting. And then I got a DM from a friend about the comment because I posted it on Instagram. So I want to go through it. All right. Ben, have you fully transitioned over to using 2011s for classes slash competition, or do you use a modern polymer striker frame fired 9mm every now and then? Um, I'm going to answer. This is a long comment, so I'm going to try to talk through it like bit by bit. No, I don't. I'm not one gun or the other gun. It doesn't work like that for me. A lot of times, it gets wholly inappropriate for me to be using a 2011. I would say in most cases it is. Um, if it's a competition class, I can use a staccato or staccato XC. If there's like a few cops in the class with a staccato P, usually I can use a staccato. Otherwise, I'll probably use a Glock, sometimes use a CZ. That's what's been in the rotation lately. And it is, I do have a rotation. I'm not on one gun or the other. I mean, it doesn't work that way for me. All right, let's keep going. What made you shift to a 2011 in the first place? I didn't shift to a 2011. I'm shooting the staccatos because it's an interesting brand. Like the way that they've branded and sold 2011s, I think is interesting. And it's interesting to a lot of other people because you can see the engagement and the discussion around it. Long story short, I think they've done a lot of marketing to get cops to carry them. But they don't really get credit for the stuff that they actually did, which was like fix the magazines, make those run better. Like they build the gun a little bit looser. It's not a super tight custom gun fit. Like I like that stuff. Like I think that stuff is a win, but people don't really talk about that part. Anyway, do you ever think of using a plastic fantastic Glock, M&P, etc. again because of the parts availability? No, I do not care about parts availability all that much because the parts are available in all of these cases. It's not really a problem. I don't care about the parts availability that much. All right. You put a lot of rounds through all of your guns, and the one advantage to shooting guns of that nature, parts availability and sheer reliability through, though they can be uninteresting. No, I don't agree with that, to be honest. The biggest advantage to like shooting Glocks, let me grab a Glocky. Let me get a Glocky out here. All right. The nice thing about Glocks, you can see this one's been shot a lot. This 34 has been in the mix for years, quite a few years. You can see the actual, when the coating starts coming off the slide from holster wear, like that, that takes a while. Like the finish has come off the slide catch. I find this a very friendly training experience. I mean, all the way around. I'm not dicking with the safety, decocking it, anything like that. It doesn't matter if it's cold out. It doesn't matter if it's hot out because of the plastic grip. It doesn't need to be cleaned all that much. It runs very reliably. That's kind of what I mean. Like the Glock is very friendly. You literally just throw it in your range bag when you're done shooting it and pull it out the next time and keep shooting it. And I know a lot of guys don't like to hear it, but you can keep that up for months, usually without any issues. So it's very friendly. It's very simple. There's a lot of elegance to it. I like the experience of shooting the striker fired pistols. I really do. All right. Separately, when do you think you would replace the barrel on the staccatos? Okay, I don't think this guy shoots a lot just based on the nature of these questions. I've changed a barrel on one pistol one time ever. Once. I actually changed the whole slide. I changed the whole top end. But that gun got about 150,000 rounds through it. And it actually got to the point where it wouldn't hold a mini popper like an 8-inch circle at 25 yards. The gun would not hit it reliably. But it took quite a long time to get to that point, like 150,000 rounds. If the staccatos get like that and I was still shooting them, which maybe this would happen, I don't know. If it gets like that, I would maybe change the barrel. But usually if the gun's shot to that point where it's the whole thing's just kind of shot out, to me, I'd probably just replace the whole gun. And then that gun would just sit on the shelf with other guns that are in a similar condition. Because I have a few of them where it's just, they get to the point where it's like, it's not worth sticking with this thing anymore. I mean, Staccato would be a little bit different because they're more expensive than other guns, but like cheaper striker fired pistols, especially. I mean, when they get to the point that the barrel's worn out, probably the gun's in pretty ratty condition anyway. And it's just like, I'll just get something else, whatever. All right. What's the process like in terms of sourcing parts from a smaller manufacturer? Like I mean, if a 2011 if it's standard 2011 stuff, you should be able to fit parts from other manufacturers. So you can mix and match other 2011 parts onto the Staccatos. I don't think it would matter. Like you can get stuff to your preference. All right. Anyway, that's the guy's question. I put up a pretty a little snarky reply. It wasn't that snarky. I said, I mostly shoot Glocks. Was my reply to him. So I posted that on Instagram. Anyway, my friend DM'd me, and I think this is interesting. He said, it's genuinely interesting that people don't understand that you aren't emotionally attached to a single gun. I can't tell if it's confirmation bias or trying to live vicariously through you. Yeah, I have a very different mentality about this stuff. Like, I don't care that much about the specific guns. A lot of it's like, I'm pretty jaded because I've been shooting a lot for a long time and I've shot a lot of different guns. And, you know, that's been my experience. But my observations is also like, when I can see a lot of good shooters use a lot of different guns and all get really good outcomes. You know, you can say whatever you want negative about any gun, but like people are out there and shoot really well, win matches, do whatever with all kinds of different stuff. Like they can get it and they make it work for them. And the flip side of that is also, doesn't really matter how good the gun is. The users will make a good gun not work that well. Like they will find a way. They're very, very good at it. So it's not, the gun is not super important in the equation. It's going to be the individual and the training and making sure the gun fits them and all of that. But it's, you know, it's not something that it's good to get emotional about. I mean, the flip side of that is it's very, very good for you to be, you know, carrying a gun or training with a gun or competing with a gun, whatever. And you believe that gun's a really good gun for you and you believe it fits you and you believe it works for you. I think that's important that you have that belief and that you have that confidence. But beyond that, it's like, there's not much reason to get emotional about it. If you know that your stuff's working and it works well and it's working for you and you're getting the results you want, there's not really a problem. I think a lot of people do like living vicariously. I mean, and I'm doing this for fun. The YouTube thing. In my life, I've been doing this for a very long time now, as some of you know, as far as the volume of shooting, travel, teaching, the whole thing. Like this week, I think I shot 5,000 rounds, maybe a couple thousand through a rifle, a few hundred through the Staccatos, the rest through Glocks. Like I shot a lot this week, but it's like, this is what it's like for me all the time. So it's kind of fun to just turn on the camera and talk about what's going on. It's like, I'm not a YouTuber by trade. I do firearm stuff. And I think people do enjoy the living vicariously. And I'll make it like we'll have fun with it, right? I'll put out a video like, ooh, should I buy this or that gun? And then people get in the comments and they're like, okay, I want to get this gun and we'll put this optic on it. We'll shoot this for a while. We'll see what happens. It is fun. People should live vicariously through that because, I mean, I'm not out testing guns for YouTube. It's fun to see those comments where guys are like, hey, you should buy the Bull Armory, test that or test this or that. It's just like, no, I'm shooting the guns. Like I'm already going to be shooting and I just talk about it on YouTube. I'm not out pissing off thousands of rounds and spending time on this just to test stuff for YouTube. That'd be kind of crazy. Anyway, it's an interesting thing to think about. People do get very emotional about this stuff. I really don't. And I think the asymmetry there makes it a lot more fun, especially for me. Anyway, I'm curious your thoughts, guys. Put it down below.